Hunting After Dark is sponsored by Feral Texas Outdoors Thermal and Night Vision Optics. Right here, guys, what we have set up here is we have our Hunting After Dark podcast, and we have had a blast running that. Of course, I'm Jason Price. This is my co-host, Justin Rumley. And the Hunting After Dark podcast, we find a bunch of different topics, but, you know, it's Hunting After Dark. I mean, a lot of things revolve around the equipment that you're going to use at night. I think we've pretty much kind of beat so many different topics. We've gone around from hunting techniques. We've gone from, you know, high racks to tripods, vehicles,
different calibers,
suppressors last time.
Yeah, I don't think we've dove too much into the tripods, but man, he can only beat that dead horse.
Yeah, I'm gonna be hurting some feelings out there. I'm gonna have some owners of tripod companies texting me.
Yeah, I'd rather not go down that rabbit hole. Just hey, whatever you prefer is what you prefer. You'd use it however you please. We're gonna use what we please, and
hey, whatever gets animals down in the end. But, I mean, I'm not a monopod, bipod guy. And if people are going out there with outfitters and they're giving you a monopod, they want you to miss.
They either want you to miss or they're putting all the money in their pocket and saying, screw you, pretty much.
Yeah, they want you to miss. Like, hey, you got to shoot. Sorry you didn't hit them.
Yeah, pull the trigger. Oh, still got, pigs running around. Great. You're still paying full price.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you pull the trigger. That's all that matters.
Always go with the tripod, guys. But, sorry, we're going to get into an off-brand topic. I mean, not off-brand topic, Jesus. But an off topic on what we're trying to get to talk about today. And I'm going to let Justin say what our topic is for today.
Yeah, he's over here. I've already stuttered it out once with our Facebook Live that we did or just a few minutes ago. But we're going to talk about laser range finding units, integrated versus non-integrated units. There's just, I wouldn't say there's a bunch of units out there, but you should know the difference. You should know what's capable of which with which the units. Let's say here. So we got in front of us. We've got a Varmint from AGM. We've got a Secutor by AGM, and then we have I believe that's the RH50R. But the same thing is going to transpire with this one to the RL42R that just got released. And then we have our tube style units. We have the Bolt TH50C. With the rangefinder, non-integrated rangefinder added onto it. And then we have the Rix L6, same setup with the non-integrated rangefinder as well. And then we have our wild card over there on the end. That's going to be our Secutor C clip-on laser range-finding unit. So we've got a mix of units here. Each one of them is a little bit different in their own ways. So we're going to kind of not completely dive off into each one. We're just going to cover some details about each one, so that way you have a good idea when you go to picking out a unit of your choice, knowing kind of what you can get, what add-ons you can get, or what's already coming with that unit. So we'll go ahead. We'll let Jason pick the first one that he wants to start talking about, and we're going to dive off in it.
Well, before we get all serious here, we got to explain what you got right there. So it is after 5 o'clock. Actually, it is after 5:30 here at Feral Texas Outdoors. The doors are closed, and the Two Hoots comes out. That is our drink of choice here at Feral Texas Outdoors. We do not drink and hunt, but we'll drink and talk trash all we want to here about products. We'll sit here and have a good old time talking about products, drinking Two Hoots. So if y'all
if you ain't tried it, don't knock it, because I tell you what, if you like any kind of sweet tea or anything, I guarantee that Two Hoots, man, will make a mark in your head.
Yeah,
you'll be chasing more.
You ever want to send a 12-pack our way, you send a 12-pack of Two Hoots, and we'll finish that off and get stupid out here. But,
oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I think our last podcast, we were talking a little trash about my high water pants and everything else, but
look at, he's all matching today. He's got the new on clouds. Looky there. It's going to be
we got all matching on the on clouds,
and he's got black pants, black high socks at that.
Yes, I actually
with the black on clouds.
Yeah, so I actually got it figured out. For the people that don't ever watch the video, you're going to see my high waters and my shorts and my underwear, something showing on the podcast, because I can't seem to dress appropriately for any of this stuff. So
yeah, he told me, or if, like you said, if you watched the last podcast, he had mentioned he got some on clouds, but of course he gets the ones that I've been looking at, and every time I go to an on cloud dealer, they never have my size, so it's not meant to be. So I just kind of gave up on that dream, and I just wear basically they're the same style, just waterproof version. So I do wear these hunting quite a bit, just because, like I said, they are waterproof. Probably not the most ideal shoe to be wearing in the summer with all the snakes and stuff, but it is what it is.
Well, hey, maybe that's what we need to do next time. We need to do footwear. Since we're sitting here talking about on glass, we need to do footwear next time. Yeah, footwear running around at nighttime. What do you wear? Yeah,
we'll go ahead and dive off into that. But let's go ahead and get started with the non-integrated rangefinders versus integrated rangefinders. Which one do you think's going to be the first
I say we probably start over here with the Varmint.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and get that one knocked out.
Now, it's going to try not to get too in depth, like he said, because we have a ton of different products, so we don't want to leave anybody out here and hurt anybody's feelings, because these manufacturers all make great products. But this is the Varmint 2. There was a Varmint 1. They did upgrade the mount into the system, and they did upgrade the LRF. You may have to pull out your phone, since my phones are both recordings, too. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. This one was 600 meters. I believe on the laser rangefinder.
Yes, that is correct.
We are rated 600 meters. This unit is integrated into there. I do like the way they do some of the continuous laser rangefinding here. They give you the options of how long.
Yes.
5 seconds to 30 seconds.
Yeah,
I know it's different
this
in the
one,
Secutor.
I think this one goes up to 60. 60
It goes up to
seconds.
60?
Yep, so you
I
can
must
get
be
about
getting
a full
confused with
minute.
the second one. But I do like that option to where if you're not constantly wanting it in continuous mode, instead of you having to press buttons, you kind of got that timer. But then just to reinitiate, you just tap the laser rangefinder button, and you will go right back into that, and restarting that clock.
Yep.
They do run on 18650 batteries. American Defense mount on here comes. All this comes just like this. They actually make several different models: 35 384, 50 384. So it's kind of the rarities, the 50 384. We get a lot of people asking on the 384 side, kind of trying to compare the products. The 35 is a 3 base mag. The 50 is a 4.5.
Yes, it is very, very close.
So you've got some units that are kind of in the long range side, because there's not a lot of 5384 LRF units out there, so they kind of have kind of a unique product there. Then they have a 35 640 that's a 2 base mag, and then a 50 millimeter 640 that I have here that has a 2.5 base mag, which we're going to be releasing that review here on Feral Texas tonight, just showing our footage that our buddy old Matt Womble.
Yeah, he did a good job on that stuff.
He did.
He really did.
He put you to shame.
That's all right, though.
Nah.
I'd rather let him do that. I'll go play with the old
he likes them lower.
TX60.
Yeah, he likes them lower base mag units, man. He ain't all about that 4. He ain't about that 4 base or higher. So I think you found something perfect for him that he was perfectly fine with. We'll go get in the open fields and go run the higher base mag stuff. But no, they're gonna have releasing that. But this unit was unique that they did add some audio. They did do improvements to laser rangefinder, like I said, also improvement to the mount. So your V2, you are going to have some improvements. Software is different than the V1, so you do have a new zeroing software, as well as a whole integration of new software for the Varmint line series. This just released a couple months ago, so you are looking at a new unit. This is not something that's going to be fading away here in January. So just know, if you are looking for an LRF integrated, this is a unit that you might want to look at. And like I said, 4 different units.
Yeah, and it has the
price points for you,
and it does have the ballistic calculator as well. So
thanks for not letting me forget that, because I would have been made a total a-hole on myself.
Yeah, so you can enter all your data in there and use basically the ballistic solver that it comes with. Works really well. Really hadn't had any issues with it. As long as you put your data in there accurately, it's going to be accurate for you with your ballistic solver.
And it does elevation, not windage, so no left to right, essentially up and down. So it'll put an X at the bullet drop point. So you'll have your crosshair, and then you'll have the X where your bullet drop point is, and you will need to press the laser rangefinder every time to initiate a new ballistic calculation. So just know, with all these ones, when we start talking ballistic calculators, you need to update that information. Don't be getting mad that you missed because one came from 300 to 200, and you're like, oh, man, I thought this was the drop point. Just know, don't get excited. You're going to forget to hit that button and update that calculation. I mean, but we're talking a second and a half to get new calculations for new bullet drop points. So these things are working super fast. It is very impressive to see. That's why I was kind of excited to talk about LRFs, is because now we're talking about how quick these things work, and computers are working on these things.
Oh yeah, no, they're super impressive. Like I said, all you really have to do is input your data accurately, and it's going to do all the hard work for you. You, like Jason said, once you need a new set of data, you just press the rangefinder button. You know, say you're 400 yards out and got a coyote hanging up. Boom, you hit the rangefinder button. It's going to do all its magic, give you that red X hold over, and basically you just hold that X over, pull the trigger, and as long as everything was inputted correctly, you're going to make a good shot and end up killing that coyote. But there was one thing I did want to check, because if you're not really interested in the ballistic solver and all that good stuff, the box that you get for the rangefinder is just a small white box. It's nothing too big, and you can. I want to say, are you able to adjust the range-finding box on where it sits? That's what I wanted to check.
I don't think so.
I'm looking.
I don't think so. I think it's some of these other
permanent.
units. I think it's some of our other units over here that you're.
Yeah, it's permanently where it sits. So, like I said, as long as you, with the ballistic calculator, as long as you put in your input data the correct way, it's going to do good for you, especially with this in the Varmint series. And like I mentioned, the rangefinder on the Varmint's going to be good out to about 600 meters. But overall, it's been a heck of a unit, especially with the integrated rangefinder.
Our next units up in this family inline series are the AGM Secutor series. This is one that not a lot of people talk about, but it's one of your favorites, I think.
Yeah, it's been a great unit. I've had zero complaints with it. I've ran I've ran the 35-384 all the way up to a little bit behind on the 75-640 version, but man, I've been a fan of them. I love them. They've been real good.
That's right. I forget that they have that 75-640.
That's like
in
the wild card of it. You know, they got 35-384, 50-640, 75-640. So they skipped the 35-640.
But they skipped the 50-640. I mean, 50-384. We're both screwing this up.
So yeah, essentially they skipped 50-384, 35-640, went 35-384, 50-640, 75-640.
Yeah, they kind of went to your entry level up to your expert level there. You know, running them 640 the expensive side. But the laser rangefinder here, I believe, is what, 1,000 meters. I believe is. I want to say
it was like 1,200. 1,200 was like, I guess the proper.
Yeah, when you get the conversion from 1,000 meters to yards, and you're looking a little closer to 1,200. And this one is on the side. It's not on the top. It does very, very well. I actually like the LRF better in the Secutor than I do the Varmint. I do feel like it responds quicker. Maybe that's just me. I mean, that's just the way this housing is. But to me, it just seems like it's catching it a little quicker and coming back a little faster to me. Yeah. I know there's features on here that you liked. This unit does run on CR123 batteries. Runs the same operating system as the Varmint. You wouldn't be able to tell the two apart, except for the way the battery indicator is.
Yeah, and then maybe the button layouts. But aside from that, the unique thing about this one here compared to the Varmint is you can continuous range find for up to 300 seconds. It gives you, I want to say, 6 to 8 different options on how many seconds you want it to continuous range find. I usually go 300 seconds, press the rangefinder button, and it's going to give me ranges continuously for the next 300 seconds. So I thought that was pretty cool. Same thing with this one here. It has a ballistic calculator, so it's going to do the same thing as the Varmint would. You put all your data inside of it. It's going to give you the red X holdover. Same concept. You do have to press the range finding button every time if you need a new set of data. Say, like Jason mentioned, your coyote comes in 300 to 200. Yes, you're going to have to re-range find. It's going to have to reconfigure for you, give you the accurate data. But it's just a quick, simple press of the button. Nothing, too crazy. The button layout is a little bit different. So you do have your power button, a rangefinder button, menu, video recording, camera button, and your magnification. But overall, been one of my favorite units, the Secutor. I love it. A lot of people do like it as well because it does come with a dual lever compared to like the Varmint or the Rattler series. So that's the other unique thing about it. But rangefinder, like I said, it's pushing somewhere between the 1,000 to 1,200 yard mark. Definitely has a little bit more powerful rangefinder than the Varmint does. But overall, it's been a great unit. Works just fine. Rangefinder works just as well. So
yeah, and don't let the CR123 batteries fool you. You're getting the same runtime as the Varmint. So we battery tested that multiple times with multiple units. It's just your preference of battery, guys. If you're sitting there, don't let the battery be something you're trying to make your decisions on, because that's definitely not gonna.
It's the same thing essentially as running a single 18650. I guess the biggest difference is you have one long 18650 battery versus 4 small CR123. So,
but some of you guys that are Rattler guys have those already. Just go ahead and keep using them.
Some learn to love them, and there's still those guys out there. So, and not to say I was the one guy that loved the CR123 batteries, but I think I will take the sacrifice of the batteries to have a good unit. Like I said, that's been one of my favorites. So
yeah, you like the features on there.
Oh yeah.
In comparison. Now we are switching over from AGM and we are going over to Infray Outdoor. This is one of the more sought after units that we have ever seen.
Yes.
In 640.
It's been nuts.
And now they have it in 384. This is the RH50R. And they do have also the RL42R. This one's 640. The other one is 384. There are some differences between the two. They are integrated laser rangefinders. They are on the side. They're super small. They are very, very slick. I would say these are awesome units. The RL42 as a 42 millimeter lens, 384, 12 micron. Of course, RH50R, 50 millimeter, 640, 12 micron. They're both 60 hertz refresh rate units,
Yep.
Ultra HD screens. So they have theirs pretty souped up here as far as what you're looking at on some of your features with ballistic solver as well. They do have their zoom. Now, guys, we've probably talked about this multiple times before, but if you've not been here, the Hunting After Dark podcast, this is my personal unit because I can't sell it because I dropped it off the top of our buggy at 30 miles an hour with the gun on and everything and road rashed the crap out of this RH50R.
He's testing the durability.
Still works. Field tests went perfectly fine. I have no issues with this. Still is a great unit. But people come in here and look at this and
they laugh.
It's a test of the durability of your RH50R here in these Mark IIs. They do have their dual lever mount and 2 batteries that are included, but this is your zoom. It is that scroll wheel here, which is kind of something new on how they're doing the zoom there at the eyepiece. I do not remember how many yards on this one.
So that's exactly
that's what you're looking at. I was
confirming.
I figured you probably were.
It is a 1,200 yard range finding unit, so it's going to be good out to 1,200 yards. Probably a lot further than most guys are willing to shoot.
Yeah, than you're ever going to be shooting.
So you definitely have a very powerful rangefinder in here, well up to 1,200 yards. It's going to be the same thing in the RL42R, 1,200 yard rangefinder. Does have the ballistic calculator as well inside of this unit. This one does give you the holdover point as well. I just don't remember what the symbol is that they give you.
It's still an X.
It's still an X, yeah. So it's going to give you that holdover point. Same concept here. You do have to manually press the range finding button so you do get the correct drop point every time. So same concept. If you're at 300 yards, you get your calculation, but then that coyote moves in the 200. You do have to press it again to get the accurate data, essentially.
What do you think about? They did something a little bit different with the RH50R and the RL42. What do you think about the laser rangefinder? I call it the star.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like the North Star looking symbol on there for the laser rangefinder instead of just a traditional square box.
That is true. So it is, it is different compared to like the most common, I guess, holdover range-finding box is usually a box. Now, like Jason mentioned, this one is like a circle. To me, it looks like a circle with wings. It reminds me of like a eagle.
Yeah.
In a way, it's the goofiest. I don't know why.
They call it sorry God the eagle, but hey, it all works. But I feel like it's kind of a more fine. It's a finer point LRF, in my opinion. I felt like we could pinpoint a little bit better.
Yeah, and it's very. The response time is very quick.
Yeah, I mean, even running on that continuous mode. Now, these, they don't have timeouts, so they are running continuously. So if you leave it continuous, it's going to be running continuous. That beam is constantly going, guys, so just know you battery do have that going up. Yeah, if you think about battery longevity and you're running that thing continuous all night long, it will suck that battery down.
Oh, yeah. So you either got single mode or continuous mode. There's no real in between. You're either going to get one or you're going to get the whole time.
Yeah, so all these units are going to have different things that they have and don't have, and they all work in the end. But there's certain things that people are going to have as preferences of what they like.
Yeah, so like I said, rangefinder on the RH50R, RL42R. It's been very impressive, very sleek design. Most people don't even notice it. They're like, "Wow, that little thing is that powerful." I'm like, "Oh yeah, man, that thing is very good. Up to 1,200 yards. It's got the ballistic calculator, holdover points, all that good stuff." And like Jason said, it does have a different holdover point for your range. Like I said, small little blue circle. Looks like it has wings. Something goofy.
So now we got distracted. So you were talking about, I think, your eagle on that.
Yeah, so like the holdover points. So like to hold over to get your actual range, it's like a blue circle with basically 2 lines, like a line going off each side of that circle. So it's a little bit different compared to everything else, but like I said, it works great. Response time is very good, out to 1,200 yards, has the ballistic calculator inside of it. So you either got the single mode, continuous mode, there's no in between, so you either get all of it or none of it. So it's been, like I said, very impressive. You either got the single mode, continuous mode, there's no in between, so you either get all of it or none of it. So it's been, like I said, very impressive. You either got the single mode, continuous mode, there's no in between, so you either get all of it or none of it. So it's been, like I said, very impressive. You either got the single mode, continuous mode, there's no in between, so you either get all of it or none of it. So it's been, like I said, very impressive.
Back up to where everybody
wants. We'll go over now to the non-integrated laser range finding units. These are going to be the units that connect to the scope via Bluetooth. Some people aren't real big fans of them. But then again, you get the guys who have got their setup absolutely perfect. They have the ballistic calculator working on them, and they just have them absolutely dialed in. You get the guys who have got their setup absolutely perfect. They have the ballistic calculator working on them, and they just have them absolutely dialed in. You get the guys who have got their setup absolutely perfect. They have the ballistic calculator working on them, and they just have them absolutely dialed in.
There is a visible red laser that you can use to pinpoint with this. So you can line up your crosshair with your bullet, with your bullseye there, and then move your visible red laser there to see where your LOF is pointing. So you can kind of have those things kind of lined up a little bit as well.
Yeah, and it's been, I'll be honest, I've kind of played with it. I've got mine pretty much dialed in where I want it to be. The only thing I do want to double check is I do want to get a pair of night vision out and double check where that beam is going to make sure it is in the right spot. So if you feel like the red laser on the rangefinder is not exactly where you want it to be, if you've got a night vision setup, you can pull that out and see actually where the range finding beam is pointing and adjust from there to see how true that the red laser and the actual range finding beam are. So you can get very technical with it.
Yeah, because the laser is infrared, guys, not visible to your eyes, but in night vision. Even the cheap digital night vision you can buy for $100 on Amazon can see that infrared laser.
Yep.
So just know that if you are trying to see that or you are skeptical about that, we have mentioned that to a couple guys to see where your actual laser is pointing if you do think there's some issue or something because when the things become external, people start getting really, really concerned.
Yes.
If it is accurate. And we do get that call all the time. A lot of things about how you mount things up. What conditions you're putting this thing through. You rough on the gear, you bumping it, are you putting it through wet conditions sometimes?
Well, the biggest thing is I think we get the question of the most is, well, what if you bump it? Well, then of course you're going to have to start from basically ground zero again. But there is different ways to essentially mount this. Some guys prefer not to mount it to the side. They usually run it flush with either the barrel of the gun or basically the platform that they're running. They usually kind of try to flip it to the side so there's no real movement if it does get bumped because it's already leaned up against their basically their barrel or their stock. So there's no real wiggle room versus if it's just free floating out here on the side.
You're talking about like those relocation kits.
Yeah, essentially. So they do make a relocation kit, but I think those are only good for like an M-LOK style. So
probably because it probably comes off too much off the barrel.
Yeah. But
you've got your little rig.
Yeah, I did come up with essentially a mounting system that will basically sit straight up. So the rangefinder will sit straight above your scope, and there's really no room for it to get bumped because it is locked down. It is very secure. I just wasn't a fan of the factory mount that the rangefinder comes with. So I kind of, one day we weren't busy here in store. So
No, we're always busy.
Yeah, I mean, we'll cut that part later. But no, I got to playing with a bunch of our parts that we have here that we keep in stock. And I came up with a heck of a mount for the rangefinder. And it's been very, very impressive. I've had some guys reach out to me about it. But there is one trick. Yes, you can get all the pieces, but there is one trick to it. I'm not going to tell you here over the podcast. If you would like to know, let me know. Give me a call here at the store, and I can kind of walk you through it. But even then, I might not even tell you. You have to buy the pieces. I'll let you know.
I have to get that scope. I have to get the scope over here. We'll tell you all the secrets on how to make that LRF work.
Yeah, I was going to say we'll compromise, but then again, some guys love the factory mount that it comes with. Either option will work for you. There's really no right or wrong mounting system here for it. It does run off of a CR123 battery. They do make a battery extender for the rangefinder, so you can run, I believe, a 16650 battery inside of that, so it will run on for a little bit longer versus a single CR123 battery. But overall, it still has a ballistic calculator inside of it and all that good stuff. Still has the same holdover point as it would as if it was an integrated rangefinder. To me, I think they work great. Some guys don't really have the best of luck with them, but I think majority of them do have great luck with it and find it beneficial to have that rangefinder inside of a scope that doesn't come with it standard.
I mean, we chose the TH50C, but the TX60C runs the same laser rangefinder, which is what your setup is. The highest resolution you're going to be able to get for long range shots out there. 3 base mag, and I don't care what anybody else says. 1280 is kind of done on the Infray outdoor.
That 2 base killed it.
That 1024 at 3 base is a big thing, and there's nobody else that's going to be touching that right now.
No,
and that is your long range optic, guys. And so if you're wanting to take advantage of ballistic calculator, get with Justin, figure out LRF for the external on there, because that's what he's been running.
Yep.
And I can say that he don't miss much, guys.
It's been, like I said, it doesn't take. Yes, it takes maybe an hour tops to get everything set up, dialed just right. But after that, you're ready to go. And if you don't like the standard mount, like I said, reach out to me. I'll get you set up with something that's a whole lot better and make it a whole lot easier and a lot less stress, so you don't have to worry about bumping that rangefinder unit. But that is the Bolt series, TL35, TH50C, Bolt TX60C, all compatible with the same laser rangefinder. Works in basically the same way within the side, the three different scopes. So no matter if you have a Bolt TL35 or a TX60C, you can still run the same laser rangefinder. And like I said, it works great. Ballistic calculator, all the bells and whistles with it. So now we're going to move on over here to the Rix Leap series. They do have the same concept with the rangefinder. To me, theirs looks more like a bullet. I don't know, man. I won't even say a bullet. It looks like a torpedo.
You don't want to say what it really is, guys.
Yeah.
Sit there and look at this video.
Yeah, we'll leave that open-ended because, yes,
It looks like a little torch, little flashlight.
Yeah, I would say what I wanted to say, but TikTok might hate us. It is what it is, though. But I'll let Jason get started.
Anyway, so Rix, please don't fire us.
Yeah, please.
We're just joking around. Have a little fun.
I'm not begging you.
So this one, you're exactly right. It's kind of the same type of setup. It does have the visible red laser as well. As far as what you're being able to use, it is Bluetooth integrated. It does have also the extended range where you can run the from CR123 battery to the 18650. This is 18650, right? Not 16650. Am I screwing that up?
No, so it does have the battery extender, but it's 16650.
Yeah, sorry. Don't let me screw that up, guys, because I will screw that up.
The unit runs off of 18650. But the rangefinder with the extender runs off of a 16650.
But it does Bluetooth integrate into their kind of the same procedural process that you'd run about with that red laser, and kind of lining things up with your scope as well. The one thing I think we forgot to mention in the last scope is kind of like some of the other factors and things about it outside of just the laser rangefinder. The Bolt has that internal battery system.
Correct.
And then has the secondary battery system of an 18500, but you run an extender on it, it can run 18650.
Correct. Yes.
Now, our Leap series here, they run solely on 18650. There is no internal battery system. Its primary battery system is 18650. So I want to make sure I do differentiate those two products. So, because we do get a lot of calls between the two, kind of wanting to know what's going on. They make 3D4 in the Leap L3. And then they make 640 in the Leap L6. They only have the two models right now. They are both compatible with LRF. They do have their own ballistic calculator as well, being able to use that with their LRF.
But the one catch is it does cost you $10. You do have to pay for it.
Oh, really?
You didn't know that?
But not on the Coyote.
Really?
The Coyote.
See, they got it. It's all weird.
The Coyote comes ready to go, I believe. Now, they may have changed that now. There was a promo. We've got like one Coyote left, and then our field test one. But yeah, the ballistic software actually comes on the Coyote already. And then everybody wants to update. I think it's on the Leap L6 and the Leap L3.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you want it, if you don't have it to update to get it, it's like $10.
Yeah. I did forget about that. But
it's goofy, but it is what it is.
Or you can come get you an FDE colored Coyote if you got one of those suckers left. And I got my used one I'll probably put up there. Yeah. Then again, I kind of like the FDE color. I kind of want to keep it personally just for me.
Different. It looks good on the wall.
They did those limited edition ones, and I kind of like that FDE color, that desert color. So I got a couple desert colored guns. But anyway, sorry, we're getting off topic on this thing. So they do their magnifier eyepiece here for their zoom, for their kind of their ocular or optical type zoom on here, as well as digital zoom. So that is available, but just know that you will not be able to see readouts using some of the optical zoom. That you will zoom in on that, and that will not be visible to you potentially. So just know that when you are zooming in versus using the digital zoom.
Yeah. So But same concept here with the laser rangefinder that you can add to the Leap series scopes. It does connect via Bluetooth. It comes with an interesting like 45-degree angle mount. Works great, but they do have the relocation kit. So if you do want to move that around, and same kind of setup with the Rix units as well. I do have a mount that works a whole lot better. That sits directly over the top of the scope. Will work the same way as it will, like I said, with the Bolt rangefinder. So no real big differences between this one besides really the mount, in my opinion. Still works. Has a ballistic calculator solver. Still can use the battery extender with the 16650. Has a visible red laser. If you really want to get precise with it, you can get you some night vision out and really see where that infrared beam is headed and really get precise with it.
Yeah, I did have a gentleman, and I think we actually figured out that he did have a faulty LRF on one of his units. I think he got replaced. I haven't heard back from him. So I had one guy that had one, but we sold quite a few of them. That's
really
the first
don't have
time I
no
ever had
issues.
one. Yeah, this is the first time I had one. Just the other day, it was just kind of a weird freak issue, and but that was kind of one of the things we didn't recommend was using the night vision to see where that was spotting.
See where, it does make a difference. So you can accurately see where that beam is pointing. Because if you're getting ranges that are absolutely off the wall, try to get you some night vision, see exactly where it's pointing at that time, and kind of adjust from there. Because it does make a difference.
Yeah, because if we were doing it, that's exactly what we would do. Is we go and check it just like that. And so sometimes there's an occasional manufacturer defect every once in a while, but for the most part, everybody's been really good with the external LRFs. I've been surprised. I mean, we just pretty much have more concerns than we have complaints about them. It's just kind of like people getting into it, trying to decide that they're spending a lot of money versus internal versus external. That's kind of what we wanted to do this, is kind of talk a little bit about each one and what some of the options are, because a lot of guys, they're worried about spending all that money and losing LRF capability if it's not possible or there's issues or whatever's going on.
And it's very simple to connect the laser rangefinder to the scope. Just make sure that the Bluetooth is on inside your scope, then power on the laser rangefinder, and essentially you will see the rangefinder flashing. And as it's flashing, that means it's trying to connect. Once it's connected, it is just going to show green. But like I said, just make sure Bluetooth is on inside the scope first before you power on the laser rangefinder, and then they should pair up. I think they've got all the bugs fixed where the laser rangefinder was connecting to the first thing it basically seen, but now I think it's pairing strictly to the scope that it's close to.
So same thing with the Bolt thing. Everybody was worried about the Bluetooth stuff. It's like now they've got that all figured out,
linked up together. So there's nothing crazy off the wall. They've got all those bugs fixed. So it's very, very simple to connect.
Yeah, a lot of people are still asking the questions. Like that's when they when they just started first launching those Bluetooth laser rangefinders, and like, that's all kind of done with. We're still getting questions on that now, but I mean that was probably the first couple months. I mean, but now we're looking like a year past that.
Oh yeah, they've got it figured out now. Now even though it's did have that issue, they've already got all that resolved.
So they've got it all encoded. They've got it all encoded to each other. Yeah. So I guess it is time.
That issue, they've already got all that resolved. So
they've got it all encoded. They've got it all encoded to each other. Yeah. So I guess it is time, potentially. But there is no ballistic calculator because it does not have its own crosshair. So it cannot give you ballistic calculations. It can just tell you, hey, this is the range. You're pointing me here. This is the range.
Yep.
You got a daytime scope behind it. You know your dopes. Make your adjustments on your dopes. This is the range. You're pointing me here. This is the range.
Yep.
You got a daytime scope behind it. You know your dopes. Make your adjustments on your dopes and shoot.
The range finding readout. So you will say, you go in range finding readout. So you will say, you go in.
I had a gentleman today. It was at 5. He had a 5-power base scope, and it was just like, man, it's not going to work for you. But it's the only one that has LRF. It's just like you're just going to be too zoomed in, just to barely be able to miss it.
Yeah.
To not be able to read what the yardage is in a readout.
Yeah. So
LRF is just like you're just going to be too zoomed in, just to barely be able to miss it.
Yeah.
To not be able to read what the yardage is in a readout.
Yeah. So this one's been very impressive. Like I said, the rangefinder works very, very well. I'm trying to think what else. It's a 1,200 yard rangefinder with
1 to 10 power.
Yes, that is the big catch. There is only one other clip-on out there that is a 1 to 10 power, but it is non-LRF unit. This one does have the rangefinder in it, and that's been very, very popular. That's kind of why this is kind of attacking the market. That's kind of
we've had a lot of questions, a lot of questions, because we're starting to bring this stuff up to where guys that are looking at clip-ons, it does have the QD mount for AR or chassis type setups for Picatinny mounting, but you can run a bolt action type setup with the cone mount that goes on the other end, which we'll have to kind of work with you on that and find the exact one that fits tightly for your scope. And then you would just remove the Picatinny mount off the bottom to be able to run that, but still able to run this on bolt action rifles, guys. So know that is possible for your precision shooters out there. This is probably going to be your best bet. But they also make it in a 75 640.
So you can really see out there. You want to
go out there and touch them, guys. You got to
get precise with it.
You'll have a one base 75 640. It will be special order because we don't keep that one here because that is not a very big market. On a niche, guys.
Yeah.
But you can have it. You can
make something happen for you. Absolutely.
Yeah. We definitely can get you set up with that, with having an LRF on there and be able to touch them out there with your thermal clip-on. So it's just kind of ones that we want to throw out there with laser rangefinders being integrated and external ones. This is something that is becoming more and more popular over the last 2 years.
Oh yeah, it's been, rangefinder. Some guys are all about them. Some guys could care less about them. It's just kind of all about where you hunt, what you're hunting. Are you hunting same fields every time? Or are you going out to new properties, different properties, essentially? So everybody's kind of got their own needs and wants. So, we're just gave a brief rundown of integrated versus non-integrated LRFs. As always, you can always give us a call and we'll dive deep into it and tell you pretty much back and forth of the whole unit.
It can do this.
Anything you want to know about it.
Doesn't work on this. Anything that you want to know. But, man, I think we covered it pretty good. I was surprised that we were able to squeeze this in 40 minutes.
No, I know. Man. I was going to say, we could always, run it out, but at that point, it just gets boring for especially the viewers. I was going to say anything past the 30, 45 minute mark is just you done lost them.
It's like we beat it, guys. You got more questions? Reach out to us at Feral Texas Outdoors.
Oh yeah, we'll be happy to go in depth with each and every unit. If you want us to do a recap over the phone and you seem interested, we're going to knock it out of the park and we'll give you a full description of each and every one.
Come on over here. We'll go take them all outside. We'll go run those laser rangefinders and we'll go range some stuff.
Whatever you want. You just let us know. Give us a call. Come by, see us. I mean, like I said, we'll definitely get you taken care of, answer any questions you might have, and we'll even help you the best as we can. Even if you're in another state away, we'll get it all set up for you and ship it out to you. Whatever you need, we'll get you taken care of. That won't be a problem at all. They're going to wrap it up.
We're ready to wrap it up.
All right,
man.
Let's go ahead. Make sure to check us out at Hunting After Dark Podcast on the YouTube channel. You can also check us out on Apple and Spotify podcasts. Be sure to check us out on our website at huntingafterdarkpodcast.com. And as always, come by and see us, Feral Texas Outdoors here in Holland, Texas. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys there on TikTok. We're sitting here running one live. This is our Hunting After Dark podcast, and so we have a blast. Justin and I really like getting out here and like talking about the units because this is what we do every day. Is we're sitting on the phone, talking to everyday guys, answering all these questions, and this is something that when we try to come up with topics, we try to find things to talk about that people have been passionate about during the week. And this week just happened to be a lot about LRS. I mean, we literally had somebody talk about Secutor LRF about 30 minutes before we even went on.
Yeah, so we're like, good topic to go with, and that's what we did, and here we are. So glad we got that one wrapped up.
But thank you guys. If you want to reach out to us, guys.
Thank you.